Are you a current or past United States veteran? On this episode of Driven Too Far, we're talking to Staff Sergeant Chris Chambers, the United States Air Force, and how you can use the GI Bill to your benefit. Hello, I'm Andrew Winkler with Chief Carriers, and this is Driven Too Far, the truth about trucking, a podcast that helps over-the-road truck drivers balance career and family. Hey, welcome back to Driven Too Far. Today, we're coming to you from Husker Harvest Days, somewhere in a cornfield in the middle of Nebraska, 2025. I've got a couple special guests with me today. We're talking about veteran recruiting programs. So I want to welcome Mandy Lade, our recruiter, and Staff Sergeant Chris Chambers from the U.S. Air Force. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Mandy, kick us off a little bit, and let's talk about what Chief Carriers has done to get us into a veterans program.
So we actually have a certified veterans apprenticeship program through the military or the government. And to go through those processes of learning how to document and certify all their hours has been a challenge.
I was going to say it was a little painful. And by that, I know it took Mandy probably well over a year to just get the certification and everything in line.
Yeah, it was wild for sure. Hurry up, get this done, and then we're going to wait a little bit to process your paperwork.
Chris, do you know anything about that kind of hurry up and wait stuff?
Oh, yes, sir. I would say that's probably our unofficial motto is hurry up and wait.
I bet. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chris. Where did you come from and how did you get in the military?
Oh, yes, sir. So I am Staff Sergeant Chris Chambers. I'm an active duty Air Force recruiter here in the Grand Island area of Nebraska. I've been in the Air Force for 10 years. I came in as a water and fuel systems maintenance technician, which is just a very wordy way of saying that I'm a plumber and that also knows how to work a little bit on fuel stuff. But yeah, I've been out here in Nebraska recruiting for 3 years now, and I've been having the time of my life.
So we're going to focus a little bit on transitioning veterans from the military back out. But Chris, you're on the other end of that, like you said. You're helping bringing them in.
Yes, I know we talked about that earlier before this. I'm on the front end of things, so I'm bringing people in long before they're veterans. I'm just at the point of them starting their military careers. But, I've been in for 10 years. I've had several friends that have, already transitioned out of the military. So I have had a little bit of a exposure to the veteran side of things a little bit.
Well, tell us a little bit about the GI Bill and how that works, because I'm sure that's one of the things you get to use to help encourage people to come on into the military.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of our biggest selling points is education benefits. The GI Bill is something that every military member gets. They complete their first, tour of service, they get that GI Bill and they have it for life. So the GI Bill that we have, it's the post 9/11 GI Bill. It comes with a lot of great benefits. I mean, you get your education paid for, but also you get cool things like a housing allowance to pay for your living situation while you have that. And then also you get the cool things like a book stipend to pay for your textbooks. We all know that college textbooks aren't cheap. So anything that helps, the GI Bill goes a long way.
Yeah. So Mandy, tell us about that from your end of things. How is the GI Bill important when you're trying to attract professional drivers coming out of the military or maybe even diesel techs? How do they use the GI Bill?
So it is, just like you said, it's an allowance or funds to substitute your income while you're learning a trade. So how that works is that they come in, we have to follow the guidelines of the government and document all the working hours that they have done for us. And as they're moving through the apprenticeship program so that they are getting the full benefits.
Tell me a little bit why you think veterans make great professional truck drivers and diesel techs.
Well, for one, they're already, accustomed to the lifestyle of a driver or the military because they're away from their families. They're out there working, as a unit themselves. So that's, just an easy way to transition back to being with your family is being truck driver or diesel mechanic is something that you've already used in your trade while you were gone in the military. So
Chris, what skills would a veteran bring to us in the professional logistics and driving field?
So I would say there's a lot of great skills that veterans would bring to the table, especially in your field. So some things that, veterans bring is, leadership under pressure, also accountability, adaptability, having a strong work ethic. Those things all definitely help in the civilian sector, especially when you have a lot of younger workers who are just getting into the workforce who don't really have those skills yet. Those veterans can help assist them to learn those skills themselves and just make your team better.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we've seen that over the years too. We've noticed as we've been hiring veterans for a long time, but you certainly see a difference with those veterans in this, not only their skill sets, but it's like every week they're going out on a mission. And if it's one thing a veteran knows how to do, it's how to accomplish a mission.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think they really enjoy it too, because they know that there's a beginning and a final, that they know that as soon as that's complete, that their mission is done.
The mission starts and the mission's got an end point too.
I think it comes down to a little bit of autonomy too. So, military members, they give us a task. They're like, hey, we know you know how to do this. We'll give you the responsibility. You can handle it. Just go get it done. And that's what we do.
Yep, for sure. And that's how trucking is too, and everybody's looking for a reliable driver as well, to know that, hey, I gave you your load, or this is what we have for you to do. Now we don't have to, go in and check on you again because you'll get it complete.
Maybe talk a little bit about, thinking about the training somebody goes through when they get into the military. I'm always thinking about safety, top of mind and stuff, but tell us a little bit about that. What kind of training would they get? Just so we know that they can follow process and procedure when it comes to safety and regulations.
So definitely safety and regulations plays a big part in the Air Force for sure. We're involved in a lot of different, career fields across the Air Force. We have over 130 different career fields to choose from. A lot of our career fields deal with maintenance type things, but also we do some stuff, where we work with live ammunition and bombs and stuff. So, safety definitely plays a big role to where, you got to follow procedures and things like that in order to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of out of my realm. Bombs.
Yeah, we don't haul any hazmat, so we don't have to worry about that.
I mean, if you can haul that, you can haul anything, right?
Absolutely.
So, Chris, what would you say to a veteran that maybe hasn't thought about some of these careers outside, once they transition out, what advice would you give them?
So the biggest piece of advice that I would give for a veteran who's separated from the service and they're looking to figure out what comes next in their life is to just take a second to think about what skills you have that you want to continue, into the civilian workforce. So I would say focus on those skills. Don't just focus on a job title. Ask yourself what skills you enjoy using. And then you might figure out, hey, trucking, I could continue working on leadership and logistics and things like that. If that's something you were very, very well at in the military, it could translate very well to something like trucking.
Well, and logistics is kind of a broad term. And I hear that whenever we talk to veterans too. It's interesting how many, vets actually worked in some kind of logistics within the military. You think about all the movement that goes around, all the planning, whether it's supplies, equipment, stuff like that. There's a lot of relationship there to trucking and transportation once they get out.
Definitely. So even in my career field as a plumber, I dealt with, the constant moving parts of things in the military, having to move equipment, move people all around the world. So definitely in every career field that we have, you get some sort of exposure to logistics, and people don't realize that they might not have those skills, but they actually do. That could translate well to something like trucking.
Very good.
Well, and the nice thing about it too is that you guys are you could even take that one step further and go into manufacturing, because you guys are shipping and, packaging and all sorts of stuff, and then transition it back to trucking and logistics.
Yeah, for sure.
And carrying bombs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely carrying bombs.
So, Chris, what would you say to a veteran that maybe is a little bit hesitant going into this field? Maybe they don't think that's a great fit for them.
I would say hesitation is normal. We all worry about what comes next, but focus on the skills that you bring to the table and have faith that will translate well into what you're going to do.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too, the message I always tell people thinking about transportation or trucking as a career and stuff, it's not just truck drivers. That's not all we hire. It's not just diesel techs. There's so many things out there in logistics. It could be supply chain managers. It could be dispatchers, transportation brokers. There is so many things out there. And if there's one thing I learned, so this is my 30th year in transportation, I never expected to get into transportation. It wasn't, it wasn't something I was looking for. I kind of stumbled into it, if you will, when I was 23, 24, something like that. And I can't get out. They won't let me out now. But it's been a fantastic career. I mean, I started as a driver, actually. I went through truck driving school like a lot of these guys do. And, I worked my way through and here I am leading a small trucking company today. So don't ever think that just because you choose to go drive a truck or turn a wrench or something like that, that's the end of it. It's not. There's so many opportunities out there.
And the nice thing to, just to kind of go off of him too, as well, is you're in this industry for a reason. You know, trucking is not going away. Everything's moved on a truck. Whether you transition from a driver or the military, you know, to a job in the office, they're all very important. You know, so the transition is always going to be kind of nerve-wracking. It's just how you take it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, even for myself, for example, I'm still in the military, but I'm already thinking forward about what comes next. And I would 100% agree that trucking is definitely an important industry. You know, moving things across the country, we need good drivers that are going to be able to be dependable and to be able to, you know, carry out those types of roles. So I definitely feel that veterans definitely fit that mold. They would definitely be able to succeed in this industry.
Can either one of you tell me, back to the GI Bill kind of question, I'm curious myself because I don't know it all, but can either one of you tell me, like, how much money are they allowed? How does the government decide that? How much is allowed for the housing spend? I think you said there was some housing and stuff.
Yeah, so I can speak on the post 9/11 GI Bill. So you get, I believe, 36 months of benefits. So for those 36 months while you're in this program or continuing your education, every month you're getting that set amount. The amount is set typically off of the zip code that you live in. Now, it might be a little bit different on things like say if you're going to get like your CDL or something like that, and you're a part of like an apprenticeship program. I'm not too versed on that portion of it, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of good benefits out there with the GI Bill, regardless of whether you're going to a 4-year college or whether you're just doing an apprenticeship program.
So that was the cool thing, right? When they used the GI Bill, you think about them going to school, if they're going to truck driving school or diesel tech. One of the challenges for a lot of people when they get into this stuff is like, you know, I want to go do this and learn this new skill, but I can't afford not to work. You know, how am I going to pay my bills, my rent, stuff like that? But that's what the GI Bill allows them to do. Allows them to go to school and helps them with their cost of living.
Exactly. So like, you know, transitioning into like being a driver, that program has to be completed within 2 years. So, and that's the same way, you know, with the diesel tech too. So it has to be completed. You have to have all that documentation to lead up to that as well. So, but yeah, 2 years.
Well, very good, guys. I can't thank you enough for joining me today, and thanks for educating us a little bit more on the GI Bill and how veterans serve us so well in so many different ways.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you again for inviting me out. The Air Force is always happy to come out and, you know, enrich our ties with the community. And, you know, honestly, it's been a pleasure being here this morning with you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us on this episode of Driven Too Far. If you want to check out a career path in trucking, check out our show notes.